The walls of my house creak and groan, a reminder of its age and all the secrets it has managed to keep. I've always known there's something wrong with this place, something that doesn't quite belong. I feel it every time I pass by the basement door, a chill that crawls up my spine and lingers long after I've walked away. Tonight the moon is full and I can feel the tension coiling in the air like a snake ready to strike. I've learned to fear these nights, and I think the beast knows it. I've always heard it before I see it. Heavy, labored breathing like it's struggling to contain itself, claws scraping against the concrete floor. The chains I wrapped around it feel like a frail joke now, a desperate attempt to control something that was never meant to be caged. I checked the locks a dozen times tonight, just as I always do. I've gotten used to the sounds it makes, the eerie growls that echo through the walls. But tonight something is different. The sounds are louder, angrier. There's a desperation there, something feral and untamed, as if the beast senses freedom just beyond its grasp. I take a deep breath and open the door, the stale, sour air of the basement wrapping around me like an unwanted embrace. I tell myself it's fine, that the chains will hold, that I have everything under control. But as I descend the stairs, a sickening realization washes over me. The chains are gone, torn apart as if they were paper, scattered across the floor like broken bones. My heart pounds in my chest, an erratic rhythm that matches the chaos brewing in the pit of my stomach. I know I should leave, that there's nothing good waiting for me in the darkness. But I can't turn back now. I have to know. I creep forward, my footsteps barely audible over the sound of my own breathing. The basement feels colder, the kind of cold that bites, that sinks into your bones and makes you feel like you'll never be warm again. I scan the room, searching for any sign of the beast, any hint that it's still here. A low growl rumbles through the air and I freeze. The sound seems to come from all directions, reverberating off the walls and filling the space with an ominous presence. I take a step back, but it's too late. Something moves in the darkness, a flash of fur and fangs that makes my blood run cold. I can't see it, but I know it's there, lurking just beyond my reach, watching me with those hungry, glinting eyes. The beast has escaped. A sharp metallic clang echoes behind me, and I spin around, heart racing. I'm alone in the darkness, but I can feel it closing in, the beast's presence wrapping around me like a noose. I have no choice now. I have to find it. I have to end this before it's too late. I hurry up the stairs, slamming the basement door shut behind me, though I know it's a futile gesture. The house is silent, but I can sense the beast moving somewhere within its walls, slipping through the shadows like a predator stalking its prey. I strain my ears, listening for any sign of it, any hint of where it might be lurking, and then I hear it. The unmistakable sound of claws scraping against wood, of something large and dangerous stalking the hallways of my home. I grip the doorknob, my knuckles white with fear, and slowly open the door. The hallway is empty, but the sense of unease remains, a heavy weight pressing down on me, making it hard to breathe. I take a step forward, then another, moving as quietly as I can, though I know it's pointless. The beast can smell my fear, can feel the terror radiating from me like a beacon. I turn the corner, and that's when I see it. A flash of fur disappearing around the bend, a fleeting glimpse of the monster that I can no longer control. I have to catch it, to stop it before it can escape into the night and claim more victims. The hunt has begun, and I know deep down that this time there may be no coming back. I rush down the hallway, my footsteps barely making a sound on the old, worn floorboards. The house feels like a labyrinth tonight. Every corridor stretching on forever, every shadow deeper and darker than it should be. I catch glimpses of movement, flickers of the beast as it slinks just out of sight, taunting me, daring me to come closer. The air is thick, suffocating, and every breath feels like I'm inhaling shards of ice. I know the beast is watching me, stalking me through the shadows. I can almost feel its eyes on me, burning with an unnatural hunger. My pulse races and I fight the urge to turn back, to lock myself in my room and hope this nightmare ends on its own. But I can't. I made this mistake. I brought this creature into my life, and now it's my responsibility to end it. I move slowly, listening for any sign of it, any clue as to where it might be hiding. The house is silent, but not the kind of silence that brings peace. This is the kind of silence that prickles at your skin, that makes you feel like you're being watched even when you know you're alone. I reach the kitchen where the shadows seem to stretch longer, twisting and writhing like they're alive. I can still see the marks from the last time the beast got loose. Deep gouges in the walls, splinters of wood scattered across the floor. I step over the remnants of that night, my eyes scanning every corner, every shadow. And then I hear it again, the growl, low and guttural, coming from just beyond the doorway. I gripped the handle of the knife I grabbed before I left the basement, my only weapon against this monster. I edge closer, peering around the corner, half expecting the beast to lunge at me. The room is empty. But something's wrong. There's a smell, a sickly metallic scent that makes my stomach churn. I step forward and my foot slips on something wet. I look down and feel the blood drain from my face. A trail of dark, glistening blood leads across the floor, staining the tiles in thick, sticky pools. It winds through the room, disappearing into the hallway beyond. I follow it, my heart pounding in my chest, the knife shaking in my grip. As I turn the corner, I nearly stumble over a body, a lifeless, crumpled form lying in a heap at the edge of the hallway. The face is twisted in terror, eyes wide and unseeing, mouth open in a silent scream. I recognize him. It's my neighbor, the one who came by just this morning to borrow some tools. I hadn't even heard him come into the house, and now he's dead. I step back, my breath catching in my throat. The beast did this. I don't know how it got out, how it found its way to him so quickly, but I know this is only the beginning. It won't stop now, not until it's had its fill. I force myself to keep moving, to follow the trail of blood through the house. I have to find it. I have to stop it before anyone else gets hurt. But with every step I take, I can't shake the feeling that I'm the one being hunted. The shadows seem to close in around me, and the air grows colder, sharper, like the house itself is turning against me. I round the corner, and there it is, standing in the doorway, half hidden in the shadows, its eyes glinting in the darkness. The beast is huge, far bigger than I remember, its fur matted with blood, its claws dripping with the evidence of its latest kill. It turns to me, baring its teeth in a snarl, and I realize that this is it. This is the moment I've been dreading since I first locked that monster away in my basement. The beast lunges, and I raise the knife, bracing myself for the impact. But just as it leaps, it stops, its body convulsing, its eyes rolling back in its head. For a moment, it's almost human again, almost recognizable, as if the curse that binds it has loosened, just for a second. But then, just as quickly, it's gone. The beast collapses to the floor, twitching and writhing, as if fighting some unseen force. I take a step back, my mind racing, trying to make sense of what I'm seeing. And then, with a sickening crack, the beast begins to change, its bones twisting and contorting, its fur receding, leaving only pale, blood-soaked skin behind. I don't understand what's happening, but I know one thing for sure. The nightmare isn't over. In fact, it's only just begun. I stand frozen, watching as the beast writhes on the floor, its body convulsing in a grotesque display of snapping bones and stretching skin. I can't tear my eyes away, even as every instinct in me screams to run, to get as far from this abomination as I can. But there's something about this transformation, something sickly mesmerizing that holds me in place, forcing me to bear witness to this horrific metamorphosis. The creature's body twists and contorts, reshaping itself in ways that seem impossible, like some grotesque mockery of human anatomy. Its face elongates, the snout pulling back, its fangs retracting. Slowly, horrifically, the fur melts away, revealing a body I almost recognize beneath the blood and gore. And then, with a final shuddering gasp, it lies still, human once more. But this isn't a man, not anymore. It's a shell, a hollow imitation of what it once was, twisted and broken by the curse that binds it. I move closer, inching forward with the knife still clenched in my shaking hand. I don't know what I expect to find. Maybe a sign that the beast is truly gone, that I can finally be free of this nightmare. But as I approach, a pair of eyes flicker open, dark and glassy, filled with a kind of emptiness that sends a chill down my spine. And then, in a voice that barely resembles the one I knew, it speaks. You thought you could control it, but it's always been stronger than you. The voice is low, barely a whisper, but it echoes in my mind, filling me with a dread I can't shake. I back away, but the creature, this man, this thing, crawls toward me, dragging itself across the blood-soaked floor, its eyes locked on mine with a terrifying intensity. I didn't choose this, I managed to choke out, my voice trembling. I tried to contain it, to keep it hidden. The creature lets out a hollow laugh, a sound that's more chilling than any growl or snarl. You can't cage the darkness. It always finds a way out. Before I can react, it lunges at me, faster than I could have anticipated. I raise the knife, swinging wildly, but it's too quick. It knocks the weapon from my hand, sending it skittering across the floor, out of reach. I'm trapped now, pinned beneath its weight, its face inches from mine. I can smell the blood on its breath, feel the heat radiating from its skin. I struggle, trying to break free, but its grip is like iron, unyielding, relentless. And then, with a suddenness that leaves me reeling, it loosens its hold, pulling back just enough to let me breathe, to fill my lungs with one last gasp of air. "You'll never be free," it whispers, its voice a taunting hiss. "I'll haunt you for as long as you live." With that, it releases me, pushing itself to its feet in one fluid, unnatural motion. I scramble backward, my heart racing, my mind reeling with 1,000 questions, each one more horrifying than the last. It towers over me now, its form somehow more monstrous in its human shape, its eyes cold and unfeeling, like the eyes of a predator sizing up its next meal. And then, with a final, lingering look, it turns and disappears into the shadows, leaving me alone in the darkness, the echoes of its laughter lingering in the air long after it's gone. I don't know how long I sit there, trembling, my mind racing, trying to make sense of what just happened. But eventually I force myself to stand, to gather my wits and reclaim the knife from where it lies on the floor. I know now that I can't escape this, that the beast will always be a part of me, lurking in the shadows, waiting for the next full moon. I stumble through the house, locking doors, securing windows, trying to fortify myself against the horrors that await me, but deep down I know it's futile. The beast is out there, somewhere, lurking in the darkness, waiting for the moment when it can strike again. And when it does, I'll be there, ready to face it, ready to confront the monster that I've unleashed. But I can't shake the feeling that this is only the beginning. That there are more horrors waiting in the shadows, more secrets lurking beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered. And as I prepare for the inevitable, I can't help but wonder, what else has the darkness hidden from me? The next few nights pass in a haze, each one filled with restless sleep and the creeping sensation that I'm being watched. The house feels different now, as if it's come alive with the same malevolent force that animates the beast. I catch glimpses of movement in the corners of my vision, hear faint whispers in the dead of night that vanish as soon as I try to listen. The walls seem to pulse with a dark energy, and I swear I can hear the faintest sound of claws scratching just beneath the floorboards. I've boarded up the windows, reinforced every door, but I know it's useless. The beast will find its way back. It always does. And there's something else now. Something far worse. I can feel it in the air, a sinister presence that makes my skin crawl, a darkness that feels intelligent, calculating. It's nearly midnight when I hear the first sound, a low, guttural growl that seems to come from everywhere at once. I clutch the knife, my only weapon, as I inch down the hallway, my heart pounding in my chest. The house is silent, oppressive, and with each step I take, the walls seem to close in around me, suffocating me with their silent menace. I reach the basement door, the source of all my nightmares, and hesitate. I know I should turn back, that nothing good waits for me down there, but something compels me to keep going, a force I can't explain. I open the door and the smell hits me. A sickening stench of decay and something else, something older and far more disturbing. I descend the stairs, the knife trembling in my hand as I step into the darkness. The basement is empty, but the air is thick with an overwhelming sense of dread. I can feel the beast, sense it lurking just beyond the shadows, watching me with those predatory eyes. And then, without warning, the lights flicker on, bathing the room in a harsh, unnatural glow. I shield my eyes, blinking against the sudden brightness. And that's when I see it. A figure standing in the center of the room, its back turned to me. It's human, or at least it was once. But its skin is twisted, warped, with patches of fur still clinging to its flesh, and I can see the faintest outline of claws where its fingers should be. The figure turns slowly, and I feel a chill run down my spine as its eyes meet mine. They're hollow, empty, like the eyes of a corpse, and for a moment I can't breathe. I know this person, this twisted, mangled thing that stands before me. It's the beast, but it's also me. The realization hits me like a punch to the gut, and I stagger backward, my mind reeling. I don't understand. How can this be? I thought the beast was a separate entity, a curse I could control, a monster I could contain. But now, staring into those dead, hollow eyes, I know the truth. The beast isn't just some external force, some otherworldly creature I can lock away. It's me. It's always been me. I drop the knife, my hands trembling as the figure steps closer, its eyes reflecting my own horror back at me. I can see it now, all the terrible things I've done, all the blood that stains my hands, the lives I've taken without even realizing. It was never the beast. It was always me. I try to speak, to scream, to beg for mercy, but no sound escapes my lips. The figure reaches out, its fingers grazing my cheek, and I feel a surge of cold, numbing terror that freezes me in place. I am trapped, caught in the grip of my own monstrous nature, unable to escape the darkness that has consumed me. And then, in a flash, the figure is gone, leaving me alone in the empty basement, the harsh light casting long shadows that twist and writhe around me. I collapse to the floor, my mind racing, my heart pounding as the truth sinks in. There is no beast in the basement, no monster lurking in the shadows. It's been me all along, a creature of my own making, a terror I can never escape. I am the beast, the predator, the killer, and no matter how far I run, no matter how deep I hide, I will never be free of the darkness within. The silence closes in around me, and I know now that there is no one left to save me from myself. I am alone in this nightmare, forever haunted by the horrors I've unleashed, forever trapped in a prison of my own making. And as I sit there, shivering in the darkness, I know one thing for certain: the worst is yet to come. I sit there in the darkness, consumed by the crushing weight of realization. For so long I thought I was merely the keeper of the beast, that I could control and contain it. But now, faced with the truth that the monster I feared was within me all along, I feel an unexpected calm wash over me. I'm exhausted, drained of fear, and something stirs deep within. A glimmer of hope I thought was long gone. I take a deep breath, the air in the basement now strangely warm and comforting, and I rise to my feet. I've been running from myself, caging parts of my own soul, believing that I was broken, monstrous. But in this moment, I understand that it doesn't have to be this way. I don't have to fight this part of myself. Maybe I can heal. With each step back up the stairs, I feel the weight of the past lifting, as if the house itself is breathing a sigh of relief. The walls, once heavy with a suffocating presence, now seem to welcome me, the shadows retreating, replaced by a soft light that feels like dawn breaking. I reach the top of the stairs, and for the first time in what feels like forever, I open the front door and step outside. The moon hangs full and bright above me, but its light feels gentle now, no longer the harbinger of terror it once was. I walk into the yard, the cool grass beneath my feet grounding me, bringing me back to myself. I take another deep breath, and as I do, I feel the beast within me stir, not with violence, but with a strange, quiet acceptance. It's part of me, yes, but it doesn't have to be a monster. I can live with it, learn from it, even grow stronger because of it. As I stand there beneath the stars, I feel a sense of peace, of clarity. I've spent so long trying to hide from my own darkness, but maybe I was never meant to fight it alone. The fear, the anger, the pain, they're all parts of who I am, and maybe that's okay. Maybe I can find a way to embrace the shadows without letting them consume me. I turn back toward the house, and this time it feels different, like a home again. The walls seem warmer, the creaking floors familiar and welcoming. I walk through each room, feeling a quiet joy as I reclaim my space, knowing that I am no longer a prisoner in my own mind. The beast is still there, a quiet presence within me, but now it feels almost comforting. Like an old friend I'd misunderstood, a part of myself I can finally accept. I know the journey ahead won't be easy, that there will still be nights when the darkness feels overwhelming. But I also know that I am stronger than I ever realized, that I have the power to choose how I live, how I love, and how I face the shadows. As the first light of dawn breaks over the horizon, I smile, feeling the warmth of the sun on my face. I am free, not because the beast is gone, but because I've finally learned to make peace with it. The darkness within me is just that, a part of me. And now, for the first time in my life, I am whole. I close my eyes, savoring the quiet, and for the first time I feel truly at home in my own skin. The beast and I, together, moving forward into the light.